Hello, folks. It was great to see half of you yesterday morning on my Zoom calls to talk about GloBus, and I look forward to seeing the rest of you tomorrow morning during the Zoom calls. I really do miss seeing you. You may not miss seeing me, but I miss you. So in addition to putting out the written guidance, I thought I'd make a quick video so that I can explain some of these things and perhaps we'll answer some questions. So very quickly, and again, you have this document that I've emailed it to you. And I know you got it because that's where you would have gotten the link to this video. Chapter quizzes, I caught some people off guard with the quiz 10 being due on Friday, so I just decided to extend the quiz 10 and 11 deadlines until this Friday, which is Good Friday. So if you don't want to do anything on Good Friday, you certainly don't have to. Just make sure you complete the quizzes ahead of time. The rest of the way, the quizzes will stay back on, be back onto the schedule that I've got in the syllabus, the 13th for quiz 12 and the 20th for quiz 13. I'll also have the video lectures out by this Friday. Now, I know it is very, very tempting to put off watching those video lectures until right before the exam, but that's not going to work well. By now, you figured out that I like to give application questions on the exam, and that requires you to have a higher level of learning than just looking on a cheat sheet and regurgitating back a definition. The way you learn at that level is you read the textbook, you take the quiz, then you watch the video lecture, and you kind of got it. And that repetition in that order will help you hold the information. Now, I told you that I am giving attendance credit for watching the video lectures. Now, in the previous block, Lecture 9, Chapter 9 is already over, and sadly, 4 of you did not watch the videos, and so you're not going to get attendance credit for that date. Now, I won't be taking attendance until the last exam, so to speak, because that's when your window to watch that quiz will expire, or I'm sorry, watch that video will expire. So that's not until April 27th is when I will formally take attendance, but I would really like you to stay up with them. So exam 3 will remain as scheduled on Monday, April the 27th. I'll start it earlier at 7:30, so perhaps we can avoid whatever rush hits that system all at the same time, and we won't have the delays logging in that we had last time. Again, you'll have 60 minutes to complete the exam. Now, big relief for you. No MFT. Dr. Manley and I got together and decided that given everything that's going on, we could ease your load a little bit by canceling the MFT, and that's what we did. So no practice test, no MFT. Now that does have some implications for your grades, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. Final exam will remain on the 13th of May. Remember, you only have to take the final exam if you, A, have missed an exam and have to take it as a makeup. Thus far, no one's missed an exam, so if you take quiz 3, the final will, by definition, be optional for you. The second reason that you might want to take the final exam is if you did poorly on one of the earlier exams, you can take the final and I will replace your lowest grade. So you can take 4 exams and I'll take the top 3 scores. For GloBus, we have 3 decision rounds left, and I want you to keep fighting all the way to the end because this is the point where a lot of the learning occurs. Very important point. Note that Wednesday night, this Wednesday night, is when you have to have completed quiz 2. Quiz 2 is quite a bit more difficult than quiz 1, but recall that you can go to while you're taking the quiz on a computer, you can go to your phone and look things up on the manual. And so this is an opportunity for you to earn a very good grade by doing well on the GloBus quiz. Also, one student had a scheduling conflict with their video presentation schedule. So I had to move Team I to Monday the 4th, and that means Team E moves to Wednesday the 6th. If that creates a problem with Team E, let me know. On the days of that presentation, so now it'll be Team D on Monday, you'll be the last in line. I'll probably start these at 7:30 instead of 8 just because trying to get through them in 15 minutes is pretty challenging. So on that day, just give me a little bit of grace, and I might need you to widen out your window to, like, I may say, like, okay, we're going to start at 7:45, and the last team that's presenting may have to be a little after 9:30 just because we have a lot to get done in that window. The extra credit, remember that you still have the opportunity to submit 3 extra credit pieces, and that expires on the 29th of April. And so what that says is exam done on the 27th, last GloBus decision right around that time. And then, so after the 27th, really all that you'll have left is your GloBus presentation. And so that's the way Dr. Manley and I try to wind down the semester when you're crashing on a lot of other projects and papers and final exams, that the strategy class is pretty much done. Now, let me talk a little bit about grades in the course. You're very relieved that I canceled the MFT. Here's the downside to that. Most students improve their grades through the MFT. The class average on that, and it's because we designed it this way, was typically around about an 84. For those of you that have had low exam grades in particular, you're really going to miss those points to kind of pull your exam scores up. So there's a couple of things to keep in mind. First of all, take advantage of the extra credit. Why don't I let you do extra credit after all the grades are in? Because that's not how life works. You don't get to see how you turn out in a competition, or whether you lost out on a bid, or whether you missed out on a job, and then say, well, wait a minute, I can do better. Let me do some extra credit. Life doesn't work like that. So I pretty much make you do the extra credit after most of the grades are in, but not all of the grades are in. Some of you have perhaps talked to your friends in Dr. Manley's class. On exam 2, he did not require the use of a video camera. This is kind of a new program that we're still testing, and I was, frankly, you all were the first people in the university to use this program, and it actually worked pretty well other than the overloading glitch. And because he didn't have a video camera, magically his exam 2 average increased about 17 points over his exam 1 average. You don't exactly have to be a rocket scientist to figure out what happened there. Now, I don't know what he's going to do for exam 3 to try to remove some of the cheating that happened. I don't know whether he's got information on which students cheated and he's pursuing them. But I want you to know that I know that there was a lot of cheating in the other sections and they got better grades. We're not going to do that in this section. Your grades are your grades, and you're going to earn your grades. So I told you that the MFT often improves your grades. What I'm going to do is I am going to probably be a little more liberal with course grades. I may go a little bit below 90% to give an A. I may go a little bit below 80% to give a B. I may go a little bit below 70% to give a C. I won't know how I'm going to do that until all of the grades, or not all the grades, but most of the grades are in. As a class, you're doing better in GloBus than as usual. The last place teams, or the teams at the bottom, are doing better than is typical. And so I will be able to move upward kind of the bottom grades in GloBus, and that's a lot of points that some of you will be earning. But I want you to know that I am going to be very fair with you. I've been teaching this class for a long time. I know what the class grade distribution looks like, and I can guarantee you this class grade distribution will look just like all my ones in the past. And if that means I have to put some big curves in there, that'll be the case. There's one thing I wanted to remind a few of you of, and I don't know who you are. This is a little cutout from the degree plans that we have. You have to graduate a 2.0 GPA in your business core classes to graduate. And notice that strategic management is one of those classes. For some of you, this is the only class you have left in your business core, in your professional business core. If you have not yet, you need to check where you stand with your GPA here. Talk with your advisor if you can't figure it out, and make sure you know what grade you have to get in strategic management. It's not my job to figure out what grade you have to get. It's your job to figure out, and then it's your job to earn that grade. I think I've mentioned this to you before. It is very, very painful to me that I had one of my personal advisees, and I had this conversation with him, and he took strategic management with me. He got a C in the class. He didn't graduate. he has still not come back yet to graduate. If he'd earned an A in the class, he would have graduated, but his GPA is still below a 2.0 in this area, and he needs to bring it up to graduate. And so there's a guy, and it's been like 2 years ago, everything done except the GPA. And he could have had it if he'd have just worked harder in my class, but he didn't. So make sure you know the grade you need and make sure you earn the grade you need. Okay, enough of that highly negative stuff. Keep pressing on. I've been proud to see that y'all have been continuing to stay on the quizzes. The quiz scores have been good. I'm looking forward to grading a bunch of the video presentations and getting those grades out to you in the next couple of days. Again, do not hesitate to reach out to me if you've got a question. I want you to succeed. I'm trying to be as clear as I can in helping you succeed. But if you have a question, reach out. Good luck.